EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Marchant here with your outlook for September 8th, 2021. Some of the settings of the video are a little bit different. If you watch this every single day, you're like, oh, what's going on with these images here? This looks a little different. Well, it does, and that's because I had a major problem with my home office computer tonight where it just crashed. I had to restore it back to an original store point from a long time ago. And in that process of keeping the files and reinstalling Windows and all that stuff, it got rid of all my settings that I had for just about everything. So I might appeal a little bit different here in the image and some of the background images here, the video. I had to reconstruct this from scratch, and it took me for about 2 hours to try to nuts with the hue settings and everything else for this. So it's going to be close, but that's why it's a little off today. I'll continue to mess with it, but that's about as good as I'm going to get it for tonight because I'm not going to mess with it anymore. So today we have the Wednesday forecast video, and it is sponsored by the Walters and Zorinsky team at Keller Williams Real Estate. Michael and Sarah have been helping buyers and sellers with all the real estate needs throughout the Lehigh Valley and Poconos with over 20 years of experience in real estate. Not only do they serve the Lehigh Valley, but also portions of Berks, Bucks, Carbon, Monroe, and Schuylkill counties. Call the Walters Zorinsky team at Keller Williams Real Estate anytime to find out more information of how they can help you at 610-867-8888. So we're going to have a storm threat today. Cold front moving toward the region. And we have that indicated here in the a little warmer out in front of it. 80 to 85 is going to be the spread from northwest to southeast with that chance for thunderstorms. But this is going to be kind of late coming in. This threat is going to be very late today coming into the region. So it's not going to be your typical time frame like early afternoon, early mid-afternoon. As we move forward in time, this frontal boundary is going to move toward the region, and you're going to have an opportunity for some heavy rain. Number one is the primary threat with any of these storms today. Heavy rain, number one. I know there is a severe threat today. That's severe enough. Flash flooding. We had a lot of rain lately. We don't need any more flash flooding. We just don't. We don't need any more rain. I know we've had a couple of dry days, or relatively dry days, for the past few since we had the tropical remnants last week. But there was so much rain that we've had over a 2-week period that it just doesn't disappear and go away. I mean, the soil moisture is very, it's very saturated. The water table is very high, so it doesn't take much. The threshold for what is considered flooding rainfall is now lowered, and the bar is lowered for that. So I don't think you're getting a tremendous amount of rain today. But again, the bar is lowered, so it's not, you don't have to get 4 or 5 inches of rain now. You only need an inch or an inch and a quarter or an inch and a half within an hour or two's time can certainly do it, and at least lead to flash flooding as opposed to river flooding. So there's a difference. So the reason it's doing this is along the cold front here, there's a jet, incoming trough, and we are on the right entrance of that low level jet, and it's going to align itself parallel to the front. So that kind of gives you the idea that the storms that are going to be coming through are almost going to be training over top of one another, and you're going to have the opportunity for some very heavy rainfall. That's threat number one. Number two, yes, it is true, there is a chance for tornadoes today. So before we get into that, I just want to move this forward into so you can see this going through to the overnight into early tomorrow morning. Might be a leftover showers or a few showers in our eastern areas, mainly, before this front finally pulls away. It's going to be slow to do so. We're probably going to be mostly cloudy most of the day here on Thursday. Here we're going to use the high-resolution rapid refresh because I like the way the radar is matching up with what the soundings are trying to sell, okay? The NAM is doing something not too dissimilar, but it looks a little more disorganized. I do think you have an organized threat of storms here, but this is where it comes into our northwest portions of our region today. And look at the timestamp here, 20Z. That's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. That's when it's just coming into our northwestern areas. Normally, when we're talking about severe weather, we're talking about maybe like 1 o'clock. A line of storms comes in, and it's out of our area like sometime in the early evening from northwest to southeast. This is just coming in at 4, so it's taking its time. And it's not really that formidable of a line. I mean, it's a line here, but it's not really too strong just yet. Once it gets into our far eastern Pennsylvania here and northwestern New Jersey, I think this is the area that's going to be prime for severe weather. And the Storm Prediction Center has that outlined very well, too. This is their slight risk area for severe storms. And if I mark an area here where they have the highest tornado threat, it's within this yellow area, and I'm going to highlight that right now. Their threat area for the strongest area of storms, as far as tornadic storms, is kind of like right in this area right here. That's the highest threat area within that that slight risk area that they have highlighted in yellow. So that area is most prime for best chance for tornadoes. Now, before you go nuts with this, I looked at the soundings this evening. Again, I don't see this being an epic outbreak type thing, okay? There could be 1 or 2 weak tornadoes, brief spin-ups. This isn't like, this isn't Mullica Hill. That's not what we're looking at today. At least, I hope not. It's not looking like it is. So let's hope that it's not. It's not something like that. But this could be, a tornado's a tornado. I mean, doesn't have to be an EF3, destroying people's houses. That, you can just have a lot of damage with an EF0 or an EF1, and even one that's not on the ground that long, and especially if they hit in the wrong areas, like a residential area. We don't need that. So I know everybody's very sensitive to the tornado issue. Yes, there is a possibility of that today. Is it a high possibility? No, but it's there. It's a non-zero chance, okay? As a matter of fact, the Storm Prediction Center, that area I just circled, are within this slight risk area. They list as a 5% chance of seeing a tornado within 25 miles of any given point within that circled area, okay? So is it really that high? No, but 5% is enough to pay attention, okay? So I think we have an opportunity for that. And the soundings are showing that. If you look at the soundings from this evening, it's showing that same thing. A lot of big dry pocket of dry air pocket aloft here, which is part of this. You also have backing winds aloft where they turn counterclockwise with height. So you have some veering winds, and this is what we call directional shear. Speed shear is what gives you the straight line winds. Directional shear is the twisting with height, and you get the twisting winds with height. That's what we're getting. So there is some of that. And there is some storm relative helicity involved with this, which gives you the spin there, and also plenty of shear to work with. Not quite as high numbers as what we saw last week when we had that last tornado threat, but the threat is still there. Okay, so just want to give you that information. In addition, there could be some once this gets organized into a straight line, and you can see it starts entering that slight risk area, the storms get a little angrier looking, right? You get these darker reds showing up here, and this is looking at 7 p.m. now. Moving this forward, this is 8, this is 9, and you see this angry line going right through that area, right through that slight risk area. And again, anywhere along this line here, you could see an isolated tornado, and that goes anywhere. The prime area for that is anywhere from Lancaster through Reading, through the Lehigh Valley, through about Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, and Mount Pocono, and Stroudsburg, and places like that. So that whole corridor there is probably your prime area that has the best chance to see a tornado. Does not mean you'll see a tornado, just means you have the best chance to. Okay, and we could go through this whole day without seeing any. Entirely possible. Okay, hopefully that's the case. And then as this continues on eastward, the severe threat's going to go away because you're losing daylight. I mean, when this hits here, when this at this point is 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock at night, the sun's been setting for over an hour at this point. So you're losing in stability gradually. And as it crosses the Delaware River a couple hours later, 11 p.m., this is continuing to do so. Now, you're still going to have thunderstorms involved with this and some heavy rain. Again, that was the number one threat, heavy rain, right? So you're still going to have that. But this is just going to, your severe threat's probably not going to continue all over the coast. We hope. We'll continue to watch that this evening. So that's going to move off the coast again, mostly cloudy tomorrow. And you could have some showers in our eastern areas until that pulls away, especially in the morning. A little bit cooler, 74 to 79 is the spread of temperatures there. But then after that, once we get to after that on Friday, we're going to have the trough settling in. That trough that was pushing this whole thing, this cold front eastward, and giving it a little bit of a kick with the severe weather, is going to be settled right over top of the region on Friday. So you have the coolest day this week with a 70 to 75 degree spread in temperatures. And then we are going to remain mostly sunny after this point. This mostly sunny on Friday, mostly sunny Saturday, mostly sunny Sunday with high pressure in control. We are going to progressively warm over the weekend where temperatures gradually increase. And then once we get early next week, Monday, Tuesday, we are partly cloudy both days. We might have a little frontal boundary weak disturbance off to our north here later on Monday into Monday evening. Might start off a shower in a few spots, especially our northern areas. But other than that, not really much. Partly cloudy skies next week as to start off the early part of the work week. I'm EPA WA meteorologist Bobby Marchus. That is your outlook for September 8th, 2021. Have a great Wednesday. Stay safe.